the Dentalpreneur Podcast. Okay, doctor, it's time to put down that handpiece. You're listening to the show dedicated to helping dentists get their lives back. It's time to decrease your stress, increase your profitability, and regain your passion. Now introducing your host, Dr. Mark Costas.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Dentalpreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Mark Costas. What's up, my friends? I hope you're doing great out there today. Hey, listen, I'm excited because this afternoon I get to hang out with a friend of mine. His name is Dr. Thomas Pfau, and he is a Scottsdale, Arizona native, and he comes from a family of dentists. He initially focused on basketball, where he was recruited to play at the United States Air Force Academy and earned his BS in biology and served as an orbital engineer for the Air Force. Inspired by his family's legacy, Dr. Pfau pursued dentistry, earning his doctoral dental surgery degree from the University of Colorado School of Dentistry. After a few years of private practice, he returned for advanced training in surgical dentistry. He now serves as a traveling implant dentist in and around the Denver metro area and serves as a surgical mentor at the Colorado Surgical Institute. Welcome to the podcast, buddy. How you doing today?
Doing great, Mark. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here and to have a friendship with you and everybody else at CSI. Truly a treat. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, dude. I am thrilled to have you on today. And it's been really fun to get to know you at CSI. When I walked in, the first time I ever met you, of course, the first thing you notice is how tall you are. And everybody else is kind of standing on tippy toes trying to look over the other attendees because there's a lot of observation that happens during these larger surgeries. And you just kind of stand in the back and effortlessly look over the top and make sure everything's going right. But your surgical skill is extremely impressive. You have a level of confidence inside the operatory that you see rarely. Tell me about kind of your whole journey. I would love to hear way back into the athletic days and when you were kind of priming to be a D1 athlete. Was dentistry still on your radar?
That's a great question. So I'll start with where most athletes start with is their young childhood. And so actually baseball was my main sport growing up in Scottsdale.
Oh.
But I played basketball and then realized as I got older, I got a little taller and I started to have a skill set that lent to basketball. So taking that in, my mindset has always been, I wanted to achieve the highest level that I could possibly achieve in whatever endeavor I was doing. And so of course, basketball was my main focus. So I got recruited to play at the Air Force Academy, and I think my original plan was I wanted to play Division I basketball. I didn't get any offers until about 2 months before the academy started.
Wow.
So 2 months before the academy started, I was originally going to go to a little D2 school in Western Washington University. And I got recruited and they said, hey, we want you here. So I streamlined the entire application process for a service academy in about a month and a half.
Wow.
Got in, luckily was able to get in and started my journey. And I will set the tone for you because I want to give you a little story because I think stories are fun to listen to. And sometimes you can laugh at my humor or at my expense, I should say. So imagine yourself at 18 years old. If anyone's been to Colorado, you look at the backdrop of the foothills of the mountains, right? So the Air Force Academy is in Colorado Springs and you're saying goodbye to your family. So you're about to start your basic training. So basketball is not a thing right now. Everyone has to go through it. Every athlete, whether you're football, basketball, gymnast, swimmer, everybody has to go through basic training because essentially first you're a cadet first at the Air Force Academy and you're an athlete second. So you're standing there, 18 years old, some people 17, but most 18-year-olds. And you go through, called your in-processing day, and you're saying goodbye to your family. You have your boots slung over your shoulder. You have a bag. You have your civilian clothes on. Don't know what to expect. You get on a bus. You wave goodbye to your parents. Now, as the bus is driving off, it's quiet. You can't hear a pin drop on that bus. On that bus, there are a couple people in uniform, men and women in uniform on that bus. And as soon as you turn the corner away from your parents and down the hill you go towards the Air Force Academy, they start screaming at you, screaming, and you don't know what just happened. You have to stand or sit at attention, I should say. And sitting at attention is looking straight forward. Your gaze is right ahead of you. You can't even look around with your eyeballs. You have to sit straight up on the end 1/3 of the chair, and you have to sit there, and they are just reaming you. And that's a culture shock.
Yeah, I can only
But
imagine.
I will finish it later, but let's go on, and I'll wrap it up because I have something important to conclude about this whole experience, because there's something that happens as the bus is delivering you to the Air Force Academy grounds that I want to touch on. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I would love just to dig a little bit deeper into the whole process. So I know that you need a congressional nomination, and I know that, I mean, it's as difficult to get into as an Ivy League school. So academics must be kind of on point, as do um, your test scores, et cetera. Um, Tell me about the culture when you get there. I mean, this was just a glimpse of like the very, very first experience, but you know, I know people that have gone to West Point. I know people that have gone to Air Force Academy and Naval Academy, but I've heard more about the Naval Academy and West Point. Tell me about the freshman year and what that kind of indoctrination and that transition felt like.
Sure, it's a change, but the first 6 weeks of your basic training, you get kind of hammered down, and if you don't accept the rules and the regulations that you have to abide by, then you're not going to make it. So they have standards set for you, and they're minimum standards, but to you, they're brand new and they're hard
Mm-hmm.
and they're challenging. But that whole freshman year, you get treated like dog crap. And along with running classes, along with doing the day-to-day military activities, so you have formations, marching. I won't get into that. It's pretty boring.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a lot of your time allocated to what the Service Academy is doing. And so the culture is, sink or swim. So if you can't cut it, then you're not going to make it. And that's fine, because they do want to weed out people who aren't as committed to this and aren't willing to make their sacrifices, whether it's physical or mental with school. But I would say, looking back on that first freshman year, I thought it was fun. I knew it was a game.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what they were trying to accomplish. And so if you have an understanding that, what they say, embrace the suck, right? They say embrace the suck, and Army guys say that too. But they embrace the suck because at some point you are going to come out the other side, and it's for a reason. And if you understand the reasons behind, then you can see that sometimes it's just a game and you get through. But I would say the hardest part, and people have asked me this, and this is jumping ahead a little bit. People have asked, well, would you do it again now knowing what you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say absolutely. 100% I would do it. It's created lifelong friendships and bonds that I have with people that I would never have. On a side note, the hardest part of the academy for me was playing Division I basketball.
Mm.
That was the hardest part about it.
Hard in that you had to balance all the rigors of academy life, academics, all the standards that you were learning, in addition to playing at a really high level, Division I basketball.
Yes, and also I think I got yelled at more on the basketball court than I did up at the academy. So people always ask, "Oh, you got to go." Some of the other cadets that weren't athletes, they're like, "Oh, you got to get out and go down to your practice." I'm like, "Dude, if you want to come to my practice, by all means, you come and watch, or you come and take my place. I think you might want to change your mind."
Yeah, it kind of, I mean, isn't it a perspective shift? Not just in that in your young life, you'd never experienced anything like that, but you've probably never experienced anything that hard since.
Oh no, I always tell my wife, I said, man, there's not a day that raising kids and having a job and doing all the things that, our task in our daily lives, man, I look back and I go, this is nothing compared to, the fun but the challenging aspects of going to the academy and playing basketball there.
What's the attrition rate? And is there
Yeah.
attrition? Does it
Mhm.
decrease as the years go on?
It does. So usually you start